I was just upstairs playing Sudoku. Oh, I love Sudoku. Hello everyone. I am back with another Riverdale reaction video. I don't want to send out the impression that I'm going to be reacting to every single episode of Riverdale from now on. I'm definitely not going to. I mean, yeah, I like doing it. It's fun, but I also like to analyze things, look into them, pick them apart, talk about them, and not just react to dumb TV shows. But since this is the last episode of the season, I figured, what the heck. So as we all know, Riverdale is getting cut short because of the coronavirus, and this is the last episode in the season. Wasn't supposed to be, but it is. Now this episode of Riverdale is entitled Killing Mr. Honey, and honestly, that makes me a little bit perturbed. Because up until the end of last episode, I really liked Mr. Honey. He honestly kind of became my favorite character in the show because he's the only normal person, I felt like. He was a good principal, he was doing his job, he actually had authority over the school and was trying to control all of these crazy teenagers from posting tickle porn or rebelling against him or having someone literally march up to him and say, "You have no power over me, even though you are my principal," and then flick their hair in his face. He canceled the dance at the beginning of the season, but somebody had died at the last dance. I mean, I feel like that was a good move. I cannot be the only person who feels this way about Mr. Honey, who doesn't hate him. I thought he was a good principal. Honestly, I did. And that last scene in the last episode, I don't really know what it was about, but I can't wait to find out. So let's see if they actually succeed in killing Mr. Honey.
Forget art imitating life. Here, we had a case of art imitating death. A snuff film that showed Jason Blossom being murdered by dear old dad. And a bizarre recreation of it.
Months of static shots of houses, now this. Why change the pattern?
Why change the pattern? Because the writers realized that the videotapes actually had to mean something because they wrapped up Jughead's death too early.
So our auteur got a copy of the Jason Blossom murder video and then pulls a Gus Van Sant, tries to remake it.
Where did he get the original video, though?
Blue Velvet Video.
Okay, but where did they get the original video? I thought that it was, like, destroyed somehow.
Here it is, Mr. Honey. Riverdale High's yearbook, as requested.
There will be no yearbook this year, Miss Cooper.
Sorry, what? Why?
The deadline for the printers was 2 days ago.
Yes, but I called the printers and they said if we give it to them this afternoon, the yearbooks will be ready by graduation.
Yes, but I told you that I would need to approve every page. And I will not be able to do that by this afternoon.
I pulled all-nighters to get this done, and because I'm 2 days late, you're punishing all of my classmates? How is that fair?
Oh, it's not fair at all. But whose fault is it for not being on time? Betty. Maybe next time she'll do her schoolwork instead of going out solving mysteries with her boyfriend.
But my decision is final.
I know she's disappointed, I know it sucks, but at the end of the day, she should have met the deadline. In life, you have to meet deadlines for things as an adult, and these kids are turning into adults, and they have to start taking their schoolwork more seriously.
Breaking news, everybody. So the University of Iowa has one of the best writing programs in the country. I applied for spring, but then they told me they could take me as early as fall.
You're a good writer, bro.
They require additional materials, which means I need another story.
Oh, you could write a monster story about Mr. Honey. I am proud of you, though, Chuck.
Yeah, she's like, I want a monster story about Mr. Honey. Oh, I am proud of you, though. Mwah. Jughead's the afterthought.
Honey is refusing to publish the yearbook. Our legacy the written record of our last 4 years, our friendships, our loves, clubs, dances.
B, if it's about money, I'm happy to help pay for the printing.
Thank you.
Again, she's only useful for her money. That's like Veronica's whole character at this point. Just money, 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 business, money, 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 money. This dumb show. And I love yearbooks as much as the next person, but she's being really dramatic here. Like, our legacy, our high school, our la 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 la. But what's really gonna happen is, this is a David Gordon quote from Lizzie McGuire, but what's really gonna happen is people are gonna look at it for 2 days, right, have a great summer, love ya, and then put it on a shelf with a bunch of other old yearbooks.
And how many of us are already banned from going to prom?
Fangs, Reggie, Tony, and I are all banned because of Ticklegate.
And I'm out because of that bogus quiz show cheating scandal.
Lest we not forget my transcendent rendition of Cherry Bomb, which got Veronica, the Vixens, and myself barred from the promenade.
And that's all valid! That's my whole thing! Is that, yeah, Betty didn't cheat, but he thought that she did. Cheryl lifted up her skirt during Cherry Bomb and locked the actual coach in a locker, and Reggie, Tony, Fangs, and Kevin are doing tickle porn! This principal is actually taking authority and doing his job, and they are in the wrong! I can't do this.
The only people going to prom are...
The good kids.
You want to go to prom with me, Jack?
Oh, I'd be honored, but I'm not putting out.
Let the fanfiction begin.
Well, the one thing that would stop Mr. Honey is if we killed him. Or scared him enough to leave town. I mean, it would be so easy.
Wouldn't he recognize us?
Good point, Arch.
That sounds
Say... Then we'd tie him up and stuff him into the trunk of a car.
My family still owns that cabin in Fox Forest.
Then we take him there and make him think he's gonna die.
And I know just the way we can do that.
We're letting you go. But you're leaving town tonight. And if you don't, we'll keep doing this. And we won't stop until you're dead.
You're insane.
Fine, more syrup, please. Someone start digging his grave.
No, leave.
At least that's one way we could get our revenge.
These people are crazy! They're crazy! All this because a principal is doing his job and taking authority over students? Are we actually supposed to side with the kids here? I'm done.
Or we could pull off a classic senior prank.
Well, at least Reggie's doing a senior prank and not trying to kill him.
Looks like we won this round.
Maybe. Though I still think we should have killed him.
Well, you know, that was a little funny. That was, you know, a huge step down from killing a principal.
I'm writing a new story for Iowa. You gave me the idea, actually. It's called Killing Mr. Honey.
Great title.
Kidnapping Mr. Honey was supposed to be a joke, a prank. Payback for how he terrorized them all year long.
Oh, okay, so it's like a fantasy
Where are
world.
his glasses?
I can barely see without my glasses.
Velma.
Andrew, I know exactly who you are.
What the hell are you doing? He said he knew who we were.
Actually, I didn't know, Mr. Mantle. I suspected. But thanks to your stupidity, my suspicions have been confirmed.
He played you like a cheap violin. You just blew our cover, you idiot.
You think that's funny?
Yeah!
Reggie! Please! Come on, stop! You've been killing stuff! Stop! Reggie! All right.
We're leaving now, Mr. Honey. But we'll be back soon.
You shut your damn mouth or we're gonna let him back in.
That was so dramatic. Clearly this is a fantasy world, because Archie and Jughead just went off on Reggie. They're like, "You idiot! He played you like a violin!"
It's dark.
Is it too dark?
No, I love it. Well, duty calls. Charles wants us to meet him at his office.
Your brother?
Is there any way that you could take point on that? I want to continue working on this.
Sure. It's not too late, Miss Blossom. You can make this right.
You've given us something we've never had before. A common enemy.
They've had a lot of common enemies before. Try the Black Hood. Try Cheryl's parents. Chick, Tallboy, the Gargoyle King. I could keep going, but I'm not gonna.
You barred me and all my vixens from prom.
You locked Miss Appleyard in her office. She had a panic attack and quit. What was I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do now?
Exactly! Exactly! These children are crazy! They locked Miss Appleyard in her office and she had a panic attack and quit! Don't they feel the least bit guilty about that?
Agree to make a video, promising that she won't punish us for this, or anything, ever again.
I'm gonna move this.
It was Archie and Veronica's turn to check on their captive, to see if he had had a change of heart.
Please tell me that all the Varchi scenes in this episode are just going to be Jughead's imagination while he's writing. That'd be great.
Mr. Honey! Mr. Honey!
Does he have a pulse? Here, let me check.
Is he okay? Is he alive?
No. He's not. He's dead.
Archie's totally killing it in all these fantasy ones. He's so dramatic. He's like, what? Is he alive? What? Oh no!
Brace yourselves, bitches. I just saw our most hated foe, the malefactor Honey, entering his office.
Could you just talk normally for 1 minute? Cheryl, please? Oh, gosh, she gives me a headache.
Students of Riverdale High, unless the person or persons responsible for yesterday's so-called prank step forward, prom is officially canceled.
I knew it.
Okay. I have to admit, I know that I've been defending Principal Honey a lot, but I have to admit, that's pretty extreme.
I knew your juvenile antics were going to end in tragedy. Turn thyself in, Reginald, immediately. Now there's nothing left to crash, and I refuse to be the only sitting president in the history of Riverdale High who didn't sponsor a prom.
Okay, everyone chill. Reg, we want the prom back. We need to think strategically. Betty, what should we do?
We research our enemy.
He asked Betty what they should do. It's just like what so many of you commented on my last reaction video. Betty and Archie's story is just beginning. Love that.
I don't understand. I didn't even hit him that hard.
Why did you even have to hit him at all, Reggie?
You were the last one to see him alive.
I didn't do anything. He was fine when I left him. He must have toppled over in his chair or something.
We wanted to scare Mr. Honey, not kill him.
Well, he's dead. There's no walking back from it.
Jughead's right. What's done is done. The only question is, are we going to let this terrible accident, and yes, I am calling it an accident, which it was, ruin our lives, our future?
Okay, I'm sorry. That is literally a line that would be in a comedy. Like, obviously, it's not an accident, but she's like, this terrible accident, and yes, I'm calling it an accident, which it was. It's such a comedic show. Honestly, the only way I can tolerate it now is just to look at it as a comedy.
I'm going to Highsmith College. I'm going to Barnard.
I'm going to Yale.
I'm going to the Naval Academy.
I'm trying to go to the University of Iowa.
And I'm going to Riverdale Community College.
Maybe.
Oh, poor Reggie.
All right, then. Who here has experience in getting rid of a dead body?
Am I the only one that hasn't gotten rid of a dead body before?
I'm like the president, bro.
This is hilarious.
You're not gonna believe this. Honey has canceled prom at every high school he's worked at. For different reasons, but the end result is always the same.
Jeez. She's like the Grinch that stole prom.
Hi, honey. How was school?
Well, Mom, now that you mention it.
Mr. Honey canceled prom.
That's not even the worst of it.
He's doing it out of spite.
And look, I'm not one for school dances, but
Betty and Jughead are talking to their parents because they're like, stepbrother and stepsister. Also, I was happy to see Sheriff Keller again. Another, you know, sane, normal person.
Mr. Jones, Mom, we need this.
Mom, Dad, we need this. Now the parents. Yeah.
Down, but I won't take no show. Up and I'm in the zone. Can't get high till you bend down low. Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Going up, I will not go slow. Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Let's go.
Mr. Honey, as concerned parents, we're here to demand that you reinstate prom.
I'm a very good lawyer, Mr. Honey.
And might I add, as the mayor of Riverdale, I have a direct line to Governor Dooley and the Board of Education. And I'd hate for them to look into and possibly revoke your credentials.
Hiram had the best glow up this season, not even gonna lie. He started out the season in prison and now he's mayor.
Perhaps if all of us, say, over the age of 20 would like to adjourn to my office, we might discuss this as adults.
Yes, let's do that. And as student body president, I'll be joining.
Fine.
I honestly can't stand Cheryl. She's so annoying.
Hobo, bride of Hobo. As student body president, I have an announcement to make. Although, I believe this proclamation calls for a more festive setting.
Dude, if they do a Vixen's musical number, I'm gonna throw up. Oh, okay, they're at Pops. Okay, good.
Prom is officially back on!
And if I may speak for the grown-ups,
We're just so very, very proud of you.
You kids have been through a lot. Much more than we did when we were at Riverdale High.
And we may not say it enough, but you mean the world to us.
And although it may not always seem like it, we have your best interests at heart.
You worked hard, you deserve to celebrate. My boy's gonna be the first Jones man to go to college!
Aww. Dude, the parents are my favorite part of this episode. Hands down. Gotta say. They have way better stuff to say than the kids ever did.
A videotape was delivered to the school this morning. Whoever shot this video covered every inch of this school. I mean, every hallway, every classroom, the gym, the auditorium, the locker rooms. I mean, what could it possibly mean? It feels like I don't know, a warning or a threat. Wouldn't you agree, Agent Smith?
That's one way to interpret it, yes.
It seems I have no other option but to put the school on high alert. And despite the PTA's wishes, cancel prom. If this tape even suggests the possibility of violence against any of my students, every precaution must be taken.
Are they just gonna go back and forth all episode? This episode is twice as long as it needs to be. I thought they wrapped it up and we still have like 20 minutes left. These episodes are so stretched out, they just talk forever about nothing.
It's not a coincidence. Honey wants to cancel prom. He's conveniently sent a video that gives him the perfect excuse.
Guys, unless we have conclusive proof that this videotape was made by someone other than our original guy, Honey's well within his rights to cancel prom.
Charles is not only hot, but he's smart.
And then, without warning, their carefully constructed plan began to unravel, thanks to a guilt-ridden Reggie.
They found his glasses, but Honey will never be found,
Shut up. Shut up.
Cause that doesn't look suspicious at all, Archie.
Oh, hell no. Charles.
It's him!
I think we got him.
What? It was Mr. Honey! This is really too bad. I really liked the guy, honestly. He was a good principal, and he was doing his job. And he was the only normal person in the town.
Agent Smith, Miss Cooper, Mr. Jones. May I help you?
The sibling squad.
You can tell us whether or not this is you and the screen grab from the video you received. I mean, it's only 2 frames, but it's enough to nail your ass.
I was trying to help you. To prepare you for a life outside of Riverdale.
You can justify your actions all you want, but we already sent copies of the videos to the school board, aka our parents. So between them and the FBI, I hope you have a good lawyer. At least now you can finish your story without any real-life interruptions. How close are you to being done?
I'm close. Reggie just died.
Reggie? Why did Reggie have to die?
Yeah, why did Reggie have to die? I do kind of like that though, because Jughead does kind of clown and play a lot of tricks on Reggie in the comics. They don't have the greatest, relationship. She is so annoying. That was not believable at all.
You need to get a hold of yourself. Do you understand me? It's very sad. Tragic even, what happened to Reggie, but he was out of control.
I mean, we murdered our friend. What are you talking about, V?
We can't change what happened. The only thing we can do is live our lives.
Wow. Are you hearing yourselves?
The world thinks that Reggie died from a car accident, a horrible car accident. So this ends. Right now.
You say that the way that Jughead's looking at Archie right there, he's like he wants to kill him too. Oh, these people are crazy.
I knew Betty and Jughead had a dark streak, but when did you become such a monster, Archiekins?
Oh, come on. Don't kid yourself, Veronica. In this town, we're all monsters. We've always been monsters, and that includes you too.
So we're the monsters.
But don't worry, I'm gonna change all of our names before I submit it to the University of Iowa.
Yeah, that's the thing. You're writing a story, for a college, and they're going to read that story, and they're going to decide if they want to accept you at their school. If you write a story about a bunch of insane high school students who rebel against their principal all year to the point that they end up killing him, something tells me that the college board's not going to be too crazy about that.
No one is going to know the perverted truth about us. About us.
Well, the only two normal people in the series right here. Bye, Mr. Honey.
Well, Mr. Honey, looks like the good guys won.
Did you listen to Jughead's story? They're not the good guys. They're the bad guys. Jeez Louise. Everything this show does is a contradiction.
I stand by everything that I've done, including the videotape. Because what goes on around here? Murder, mayhem, depravity. It is not normal.
That's right! That's right! He is the only normal person in this town! He's right. It's not normal. And he is trying to protect them and save them and prepare them for a life in a normal place.
Well, it's normal to us, which is why we had to stop you.
I saw the writing on the wall days ago when I lined up my next job. I am Stonewall Prep's new headmaster.
Why do they care? None of them go to Stonewall.
All right, you know what? Screw Mr. Honey. He sucks.
That's right, Archiekins. I mean, who doctors up fake evidence just to cancel prom?
And takes away a school's yearbook.
Censors a variety show. A psycho, that's who.
That man is anything but.
The only other normal person in this show.
I have been working in that front office for 50 years. And in all that time, I have outlasted 8 principals. And beyond a doubt, the best, by far, was Mr. Honey. Do any of you have any idea what that man has done for this school? This year alone, he personally arranged for 6 low-income students to go to colleges on full scholarships.
Wait, really?
Also, this year's average GPA is higher than it's been in decades. And more seniors will be going to college than have since 1956. Oh, and of course, no students have died under his watch.
Yeah.
He asked me to mail this for you, but I don't think I will. You may want to read it, though, to fully comprehend your actions.
I called it. I so called it. Mr. Honey is a good principal. I'm so happy.
What is it, Chuck?
It's a letter written by Mr. Honey to the University of Iowa.
What did Mr. Honey say? Was he trying to screw you over?
Oh my God. I have to change it.
Change what?
My story. I have to fix it.
What did the letter say?
The problem with believing you have all the answers is that it blinds you to the truth that's right before your eyes.
I'll give him CPR.
He's saving him.
Yeah, we need an ambulance.
He'll have it. It's okay. The doctor said Honey's gonna make it.
I'm more worried about us.
Okay. What do the police know? What did you tell them?
The truth. That this all started as some stupid prank and that things got out of hand.
Frank.
Do you realize what you've done?
Yeah. We kept the man from dying.
Do you guys understand that we could spend the next 20 years of our lives in Shankshaw?
Can I just say how hilarious it is that it's Shankshaw, that the prison's name is Shankshaw? You know, like off of Shawshank. It's so dumb.
Are you listening to yourselves? Mr. Honey could have died. We would have been murderers.
Better that than what's coming next for all of us.
You don't mean that, Betty, do you?
What made you rewrite it?
Guess I finally realized what I was saying, how I was saying it. I've been reveling in this town's sickness, and I was enjoying the suffering of another person, even if it was Mr. Honey.
At least he's identified the problem.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but this was on our doorstep.
Why?
More house shots?
That's the cabin where Veronica's mom killed Sheriff Minetta, where they had their affair.
I'll go get
What brought that on?
these. Chuck.
Why is it that all their TVs look like they come from the 1970s? Like, look at this. That thing is super old. Doesn't anybody have a modern TV? This does take place in 2020. I don't know.
Dear Headmaster Kuntz, greetings from Riverdale High. Though Jughead Jones has had an incredibly difficult year, as you know, and I've only interacted with him a scant few times, he is a special kid, and he is a superb writer. But he needs a break. He needs good teachers and a healthy environment, which I know the University of Iowa can provide. I don't say this lightly, but I do believe Jughead Jones will be an important voice of his generation. If you'd like to discuss him further, please call me at any time. All my best to you and Edith. Sincerely, Holden Honey.
And that's it. What a cheery ending. In all seriousness though, what was that? Who could have possibly recreated that scene? Because nobody actually knew about it because it was part of Jughead's story about them killing Mr. Honey. They didn't actually do that to him. So how do people know to recreate that scene? I don't know. I don't know what they're smoking in the writer's room. In all seriousness though, I'm super happy with how the episode ended with Jughead realizing that the kids were a lot in the wrong. I mean, obviously, Mr. Honey, there was moments where he was in the wrong too, but the kids also were. They were enjoying the suffering of another person, and that is not okay. And I'm glad that the show actually brought that to light, because it seems like a show that, you know, would not bring that to light. I'm glad that they brought that to the viewer's attention, that Mr. Honey is, in fact, a good principal. He just wanted to help. He did help in a lot of ways, and his intentions were good, because he wanted to save these kids and let them know that a place where everyone is murdered isn't normal. And it's normal to us is kind of a sad excuse, because do you really want that to be normal for you? No, of course not. I'm sad that there wasn't more Barchi. What's keeping me holding on now, besides all of the stuff that I said in my last video, is that Jughead and Veronica still haven't found out, and they are gonna have to find out at some point, and the longer that they wait, the worse it's gonna get. So I am looking forward to them finally finding out. Hopefully Betty and Archie will still have their happy ending together, and a lot more content in season 5. That's it. Bye.